Hello there, and welcome to episode number 6 of a Finch's Nest podcast. My name is Heather, and I will be your host today. Today is Monday, June 24th, 2019, and it is a very, very warm day here in Ontario, Canada, and it's very hot and humid today, so not my favorite weather, but it's nice that summer's arrived, and we're expecting a thunderstorm soon, so hopefully we can get through this before that starts. So I'm podcasting a little later today than normal, so it's about 8 o'clock at night, and so the lighting might be a little off, and you might hear some noises because some of my family's home and the dishwasher's going, but I just really wanted to get this podcast up, and so sometimes we just have to do what we have to do, right? So anyways, so I've talked on the podcast before that in the summertime I work at a camp up north, and tomorrow is the day that we have to head up to camp and start our summer job. So I've been working really, really hard packing and getting the house here organized for my boys who will be at home all summer, taking care of things here, and then just packing up everything that we need for 10 weeks that we will be gone. So as you can imagine, it's a big job, and I'm exhausted at this point. So anyways, that's why I wanted to get the podcast up tonight, because I don't know how podcasting is going to work at the trailer. I'm going to try, but it's definitely going to be tricky, and we're definitely very busy while we're there, so I'll do my best though, but I won't make any promises. So I wanted to say a big welcome to all the new viewers that we have lately. I know that this little podcast was mentioned on the Codependent Knitters podcast, and I really appreciate that, and so I've noticed that we do have a few new viewers, and so that's exciting, and so welcome, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. I have some notes here because I'm feeling tired and scattered tonight. So places you can find me online, I do have a Ravelry group called a Finch's Nest, and you can also find me on Instagram as a Finch's Nest, and hopefully I'll be able to post lots of photos from camp this summer, so you can see what we're experiencing at camp and how we live at camp. And yeah, it's definitely different than living at home, so that'll be fun. What else do I want to tell you? Oh yes, I've been spending a lot of time dyeing a lot of yarn. So for those of you who are new, I do a lot of natural dyeing, and I'm going to be vending at a show in the fall, so I've been spending a lot of time getting some of that stuff ready before I leave as well for the summer. So I also have a couple of really fun collaborations that are coming up in the fall that I'll be able to tell you about a little bit later, but I have a designer working with some of my yarn right now, and he's coming out with a book in the fall, so that's pretty exciting. And I just sent off some yarn for him today, so yeah, I'm getting all the things done that I need to do before I leave, so that's good. I think that's it for sort of just general chatter for now, and I feel like I'm really, really warm, so I might be drinking a lot of water, but it's definitely warm in here tonight. Okay, so first we will start with some finished objects. So one of them I'm wearing, I showed this on the podcast last week. This is the little top with the daisies that I had made, and I was going to put a little red button right here, but I never got around to it. And actually I looked through my buttons, and I just didn't have the perfect red button. They were kind of too orangey red or too pinky red, so it just wasn't working. So I decided to just leave it, but I really like the way it fits, and I love the fabric, and it'll be a nice cool shirt to wear at camp this summer, so that's good. So yeah, so in total I think I only made 3 shirts. I was hoping to make a lot more, but time gets away from us, so that didn't happen, but at least I have 3 new shirts to wear this summer, so that'll be good. The only other finished object I have is I made myself a new notions pouch, and this is it, and I love this fabric. I think it's so cute. And yeah, I just used some denim on this side, and these are my little tags, which I love. And I actually found a new girl who makes these tags. Now, of course, I can't remember what her name is, but she's Canadian, and yeah, she's really great to deal with and really quick. She turns things around really fast. So anyways, this is the inside of my Notions pouch, and oops, it's all packed and ready to take to camp. So I just have, I'll just show you what's in it actually. I have this little tiny jar with some stitch markers in it. And I have an extra pair of sock needles because you should always have an extra set. And a tape measure. Oops, sorry. And a pair of scissors. And this little tin full of some cute stitch markers as well. I guess these are probably more progress keepers. And then I have a cable needle and some darning needles. And I always have some washi tape in my Notions pouch because I like to use it to mark what row I'm on a chart. So yeah, this works really well for that. So I always have a little roll in there. So that's all I have in there right now. So I should be ready for my knitting this summer, which I'm looking forward to having some downtime at camp. Even though I work at camp, I do get time to sit and knit, so I'm looking forward to that. And sometimes I take, I have a golf cart at camp as part of my job, so sometimes I'll take the golf cart down to the beach and just sit by the water and knit, and it's so nice and peaceful. So I'm hoping to get lots of time to do that this summer. So yeah, so there's my one and only finished object. Now, if you could see all the yarn that I've dyed, so I probably dyed, I can't even begin to guess, maybe 150 skeins in the last couple of weeks. So I've been super busy. So anyways, that explains why I have no finished objects, but except for that little one. So last time I podcast, I was showing you some socks that I was working on as a Christmas gift, because I like to start my Christmas gifts early. So I did end up finishing the one sock, and it turned out really nice. This yarn is just so nice. And I've worked on this a few times at my knit night and stuff, and everybody seems to really love this colorway. So yeah, and like I said before, it's like a brown and gray, which I think is just a little bit different than normal. So for these socks, I used a 2.5 millimeter needle, and I cast on 72 stitches for men's socks. And then I knit to about 6 inches, and then do a heel flap and gusset, and then a big long foot, and then the toe decreases. So I find with men's socks, I always have to use a contrasting heel and toe, otherwise I wouldn't have enough. So I did use this gray, which, well, you can see it. It's maybe not the perfect match, but it's pretty good, I think. It was a funny gray because I had a lot of grays in my stash, but none of them seemed to really work that well with it. But this one was as close as I could get. It's a really nice yarn, but somebody gave me this gray with no bands on it, so I don't know what it is, but it is really nice. But yeah, so the striped yarn I've talked about before is this Comfort Cashmere Wellness, and the color is 902.08. So yeah, and it's 65% wool, 25 polyamide, and 10% cashmere. So that explains why they're so nice. But yeah, so I'm really happy on how this one turned out. And I actually finished this one when I was at the trailer a couple weekends ago. So that was good. So I did start the other one. And I'm at the heel right now. So I will be taking this with me, and I hopefully will finish these in the next couple weeks. So, and I've just done this little bit on the heel, but yeah, it's just beautiful yarn. I was able to match up my stripes because I know some people don't mind if their stripes don't match, but I like my stripes to match. So they match perfectly, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, so I'm getting there. Once you pass the heel, I feel like the foot goes really quickly, but I kind of get stalled out on the heel sometimes. So anyways, I really do like how it's knitting up. There you can see the gray a little bit better, probably. The contrasting gray. It's just this skein. So it's a bit tonal. It's really pretty. So anyway, so I'll just keep plugging away on those and hopefully they'll be done really soon, and then I'll have another Christmas gift done. So that's exciting. I like to stay on top of that as much as I can. So yeah. I'm just putting those away. So yeah, I'm excited about those and anxious to get them finished and put away for Christmas time. So just move that over there. The other thing I started, and I just started this last night, I had actually packed up all my knitting already to go to camp, and then I decided to podcast tonight. But last night I felt like knitting a little bit, and I didn't want to dig everything back out again, and I didn't feel like working on that heel, so I just cast on a new pair of socks, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I did. So this is hard to see. So this is as far as I got. So this is a woman's pair, so I use 2.5 millimeter needles, and I cast on 64 stitches, and I'm just doing a 2x2 rib. And I'll just do that a little bit longer, and then I'll start the stocking stitch down to the heel. So, and this is the yarn that I'm using. It's really pretty. Pretty colors and kind of, I don't want to say dull because that makes it sound not so nice, but kind of rustic looking, I guess. So, looks really nice, and the yarn is Lana Grossa in the Aloha color. So yeah, I haven't used this before, so I'll keep you posted on what it's like. So it's 80% wool and 20% polyamide. So yeah, I haven't used it, but it feels nice. It feels a bit rustic, so probably a very good hard wearing yarn, I would think. So we'll see. I'll definitely keep working away on those and let you know what I think of that. And I just made myself a whole bunch of new needle keepers or needle cozies because I like to have them, and I always end up selling them, and then I don't have any for myself, so I made myself a bunch recently. So that's really all I've been working on, unfortunately. But again, like I said, hopefully I'm going to have lots of knitting time in the next 10 weeks. So I put together some projects, and way more projects than I'm going to have time to knit, I'm sure. But it's hard to know what to pack because sometimes I feel like, you just never know what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you feel like knitting socks, sometimes you want to tackle a sweater, sometimes you need some mindless knitting, sometimes you want to do color work. So I kind of brought a bit of everything, and I just have it all in a bin, and I figure even if I have way too much, I'd rather that than not have enough or not have what I feel like working on. And I can always just bring it back home again, right? So it's okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the projects that I'm taking to camp, and some of them I have talked about before, but I know at least one I have chosen some yarn for, so I'm going to talk about that. So the socks that I just showed you, I will be taking with me, and those are great projects to just take if you're going to someone else's trailer for tea, or you're visiting because they're mindless knits, and yeah, I don't have to concentrate on those. And then I feel like if I'm concentrating at all, I'm being, or I would seem to be being rude, I would think, if I'm not engaging in a conversation. So yeah, sock knitting is perfect for visiting and stuff like that. So I'm definitely taking those. So then I'm taking my Trek sweater, which I've talked about many times before, and I've really got stalled out on my Trek sweater. So for those of you who are new, I should have brought it over here, but I've been working on the body of it, and actually I have a photo here. I've been working on the body, and I'm almost up to the armholes. So I've made good progress. The worst of it's over, but then I got stalled out. So mine is a charcoal gray. So I have mentioned this before, that it says in the pattern from the bottom up to the armholes should be 19 inches, but for me that's going to be too long. So I ended up, I've packed a sweater in my bin with all my yarn, a sweater that I have that fits well, and so I'm going to adjust the dimensions to be more like the sweater that I have, which is definitely not 19 inches. So I think that's why I got stalled out and then just kind of lost interest, I guess. So I would think I maybe only have another inch to do on it, and then I'll be starting the sleeves, and then I can get to the fun color work part, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, so this, again, I should have brought all the yarn over here, but I didn't. So mine's charcoal gray with a light pink, a dark pink, turquoise, gray, and white in the color work. So I think it'll be really pretty, and I know I'm gonna love it, so I need to just plug through and get it done. So, and the sleeves will actually be really good camp knitting too, because again, it's mindless knitting that I can just throw in my bag and take down to the beach or whatever. So yeah, so hopefully by the end of the summer this is going to be finished. So then I thought, hopefully I'll get that finished, and I'm going to need another sweater to work on. So I had talked at the last podcast that I really wanted to make the soldotna, and I know so many people have made it, and like I said before, I'm totally not a crop sweater person. So my plan is to make it longer, and I might make the sleeves just slightly longer, but I do want them short like this because I want to wear it as like a little vest almost in the winter time. So I had showed last time that I had some yarn that I was hoping to use for the soldotna, but I didn't have everything that I needed. So this was one of the colors that I already had, and oops, it's upside down. So this is one of the yarns that I really like to work with. It's the Barocco Ultra Wool DK, and I really like this yarn. It's soft. It's 100% wool, but it's not toothy at all. It's not cashmere soft, but it's really nice, and the price point's really good, and more budget friendly knitting, I guess. So anyways, so I had this already, but because I want to make it longer, I'm going to need 2 balls of this. So I was able to go back to the wool store and found another one of those. So this is my main color. And it's interesting because I gravitate to gray a lot, and I don't know if you can see, but this is like almost like a taupey gray. So it's very different than anything that I have in my wardrobe now. So that's nice. So I went to the wool store to see what my options were. So funny enough, this store that I go to, it has the most beautiful collection of wools and so many different brands and colors. But like another project I worked on recently, this is just a funny color, and so it was really hard to find a lighter sort of shade of this that went with it, but we did find it. So it was this one here. So this is going to be all the light spots on the sweater, plus the lice. I'll show you the lice stitch in here. So I think it's going to be nice because there's enough of a contrast, but not too much of a contrast. So I think it's going to be really nice and subtle. So unfortunately, when I bought this, the lady only had one skein of this, and I'm going to need 2 again because I'm making it bigger or longer. So the lady said she could order it in, but I knew I wasn't going to have time to go back to get it before I went back to camp. So my parents live closer to the store than I do, so they said that they would pick it up for me, and if she could order it in. So the lady ordered it in, and she called the other day to say that it was there, and my parents happened to be going there anyway, or to that town. And so they said, oh, we'll just pick it up today, and then we can give it to you this past Sunday, and I'd have it to take to camp. So they went to go get it, and they couldn't find the store. So, and it's funny because I gave them very specific directions on how to find the store. And honestly, my mom walked right past the store because she's telling me all the different things that she had seen. But anyway, she missed the store, and my parents were getting elderly, and she couldn't walk anymore, so they just left, and she called to say that she couldn't get the yarn. So she said that they'd be happy to go back and try again, but I didn't want them to have to do that. So it turns out that one of my friends from camp actually lives in that town, and she's also a knitter. So I asked her if there's any chance she would be going to the yarn store, if maybe she could pop in and just pick it up, because it was on hold for me, so it would just be simple to go pick it up. And so she was happy to do that for me, so I'm very grateful. So she's going to bring it to camp, and now I will have to wind it by hand because I am not taking my Swift and winder with me, but that's okay, we'll manage. But I'm really grateful that she was able to pick that up for me. So this one is a Cascade 220 in the Heathers, and the color is 2441. So now I'll have 2 of those, so that's great. And I'm in no hurry for it because I haven't even started. So, and I told that to the friend from camp, so she can just take her time. So anyway, those are the 2 main colors. So then I have 2 different options, and I posted about this on Instagram one time, and I'm still very torn. So this is what I originally decided to use. So this is just a navy blue, and again, it's the Barocco Ultra Wool DK. And this is color 8365. It's a really nice navy. It's looking a little more green in this screen than it really is turquoise. It's actually a really nice navy, dark navy. And then I'd had this left from my Jody shawl that I just recently finished. This was the color I originally had in it and had to rip it out. So this is a full skein of Julie Eslin in the Lizu DK in the Blackberry Coolest colorway. So I love these. I love the colors, and I think it would be really nice because it's different than what I normally gravitate towards. But I think because it's different, it's hard to take the plunge, I guess. So this is what I'm going to start it as. And if I really don't like it, then I'm going to rip it out. And these 2 colors are very close, so I was a little worried that it might not show off the color work as nice as I would like. So that's what I'm going to have to see when I start it. If I don't like the contrast, then I'll go with a different option, but I'm going to try to do this and go outside of my box, my normal box. Because what I would really like to do is this option. And I know I would love it. The thing is, both of these yarns are in my Trek sweater. So I'm like, is it bad to have the exact same colors in 2 different sweaters? Now, I think the Trek's going to look different because, first of all, it's gray, and there's only going to be little bits of this because it's just the color work in the yoke. So I don't know. I like this combination because there's like a light and a dark, and then these ones down here are more mid-tones. Like if you look at these, there's a light, a dark, and a medium basically. So I think the contrast would be really good for the color work. So I might end up just going with the pink. But I think these would be really nice for fall and winter though. This is really getting blown out. But yeah, so I'm just taking it all with me, and we'll see when I get going what I feel like. But really, this is such a beautiful combination. So I might just have to do it. We'll see. We will see. I'm going to try to go outside my normal box, but it might not work. So just put this over here. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about knitting the Soldatna, and I think actually I'm going to cast it on like tomorrow night. So if I have time, yeah, I think I'm just going to cast it on, even though I'm not done the trek. I'm just going to do it anyways. So yeah, so that's one of the sweaters I'm taking with me. And then the other one is the Fern and Feather, which is another sweater that I've really been wanting to make for a long time. And again, I've talked about this before, and this is by Jennifer Steingass. And these are the colors that I'm using. This one, and again, same color family. Same color family, only slightly darker. Look. Yeah, obviously I really like these colors, so maybe I shouldn't use this, but or does it really matter? Does it really matter? So anyways, this is going to be the main color. This will be the color work at the top. So yeah, I'm excited about this one too. And this one I feel like it's I believe it's a top-down construction. So I thought this would be a great camp project too, because once I get past this color work, then it's just mindless knitting. So yeah, I'm excited about this. The Soldatna is going to be one that I'm going to have to just do when I'm alone at camp, at my trailer, because I'm going to have to think about it with all that color work. But this one, yeah, once I get past this little bit at the top, it's just plain knitting. So yeah, so I'm excited about that too. So, you know, I probably won't get half of this done, but that's okay. That is okay. So yeah, so then I'm taking those men's socks with me that I had already spoke about. And one other thing I have that I'm taking with me is, last time I podcast, I talked about the Hello Sunshine socks from Tracy Miller, and that I had cast on in a yarn that I wasn't happy with. So I ripped those out, and I'm getting ready to cast on again. So this time, let me see everything here. So here, I'll show you a picture again. These are the Hello Sunshine socks. So they have a contrasting heel, and then right at the top, the cast on row is the same as the contrast color. So this time I'm going to use this as the main color. Oh dear. Because it's later in the day, my kitchen light is on right here. So it's kind of blowing this out a bit. But it is the softest, prettiest pink. So I dyed this using my natural dyes. So I'm excited about that. And then I have these two different pinks that I was considering for the contrasting heels and toes. So right now I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to use. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. Yeah, again, the light is playing with the colors. But I think it'll be nice. And I think this is a really perfect yarn for this pattern because the pattern's so pretty that I just wanted something really delicate and soft for it. I don't know if you can see there's a little pattern down the front of the sock there. But yeah, with that other yarn, I was just so disappointed. So I think this is going to make me much happier. And yeah, I think it's going to make a very pretty pair of socks. So yeah, this one I'm not nearly as anxious to cast these socks on as I am those sweaters. So for now, I think I'm just going to do some sweater knitting and hopefully get myself a sweater or two for the fall. Yeah, and then if I feel like knitting socks, I have these with me, but it's not that I don't want to knit them, but I'm not as excited about them right now as I am the sweaters. So yeah, I'm gonna focus on sweaters for a bit. I haven't knit myself a sweater for a long time. Oh, well, I guess I knit a cardigan last year, but I have not knit myself a pullover in forever. So I think that's why I'm excited to have some new sweaters. So anyways, I have this all in my little camping bag with I made a matching needle cozy, but this bag has campers all the camping stuff, so I had to take this with me for sure. So yeah, so that's it for the projects that I'm taking. So like I said, it's a lot, and it's a lot more than I'm going to knit, but it's okay. And our trailer's small, so there's not a lot of storage room, but I'm just going to keep the bin in the back of my car, and then I can just run out to the car when I need stuff, so that'll be fine. It won't be in anyone's way, but I'll have what I want when I need it. So that's what's important, right? Us knitters can't run out of projects. So, and it's funny because last time I went to the trailer, I thought I always pack way too much knitting. So I thought I'm just going to pack one project because we were only going for the weekend, and that would be enough. So I packed those men's socks, and then I ended up forgetting the measurements for my son's feet. And so I kind of got stuck on the socks. So, and then all of a sudden, thankfully, I remembered what the number was. But I have one of those sock rulers. I think I have it here somewhere. Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I have one of those sock rulers, and on the back of the ruler, I wrote down all my kids' names and the size of their feet. And so I had forgotten the ruler at home, so then I didn't have the sizes. But thankfully I remembered it before the weekend was over, and I was able to finish that sock. But I was like, well, this is a good lesson on why we should always bring more than one project. Because if you get stuck on something and you can't go any further, then you have nothing. So I won't have that problem this summer. I have lots, and I've packed all the needles that I need, and so hopefully I have everything for a really good knitting summer. So the other thing I was going to talk about is last time I podcast, I mentioned that I was going to go to the Kawartha Fiber Festival, and I did go, and it was a lot of fun. I had one of my daughters with me for the weekend. I'm just drinking water because it's very warm today. I had my one daughter with me, and she was really good until she was done. And then it was time to leave. So, and that's fine. And, she lasted for 2 hours. So I think that was pretty good. But we had a good time. It was a really good festival. I was actually really surprised for the location, how good it was. And I believe I read that there was 80 vendors there. So, and some we didn't get to see as in-depth as I would have liked, but again, she was with me, and I have to be sensitive to that, so it was fine. So we had fun, and we saw lots, and I spent enough, so it was probably good that we didn't get to stay any longer, because there were so many beautiful yarns and things. It was just so nice. So it was really fun. Anyways, while I was there, I met Dawn from the Codependent Knitters and Adrian from Fiber Friends. So I watched both of those podcasts, and I had seen the two ladies sitting just out in the hallway. They were having some lunch, and so I went over and introduced myself and spoke to them for a bit. So that was nice, and they're just as nice in person as they are on their podcast. So that was nice, and it's nice to talk to these people in, I guess, real life when we see them only on the internet. So yeah, that was fun. And like I said before, Dawn had mentioned my podcast on their podcast, and I really appreciate that. And I've had some comments from some viewers, so that's really fun and exciting. So I'm just going to show you what I bought at the Fiber Festival. Yeah, I tried to be good, but it was hard. Let's just say it was hard. So last time I podcast, I did mention that I was wanting to get one of those one of these leather cuffs, I guess you would call them, for shawls. So yeah, I was definitely on the hunt for one, and I was really excited when I saw them. So this is Howling Hills Studio, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this information or not, but she's from Ontario, and she uses old belts and makes these, which I think is fantastic. So this is the one I chose. It was very plain. She had some really nice ones that were like they had pattern all in the, like a patterned belt. But I don't know, something just drew me towards this one. And the one thing I really liked about this one was it had this finished edge on it. Because a lot of them are like this on both ends because they're taking belts and cutting them. So it had two ends like this, a lot of them. So I was really excited when I saw this one that had the nice finished edge on it. And she had different colors and different designs, just so many. And she had wide ones and skinny ones. So it was a hard decision to pick one, but this one I just felt, because it's plain, you can wear it with anything. And I'm not really like a fancy girl. I don't really like bling or sparkles and that kind of thing. So this to me was just kind of my aesthetic. So I'm excited about that and excited to try it. I haven't tried it yet because it's been too warm to be wearing shawls, but I'm going to put that away for when the weather changes again. So, and then I just bought a few skeins of yarn, and some I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them. So these two are from Lizzie Ann Yarns. And again, my normal colors that I love so much. Although this one's more purple than some of those other ones that I've been showing that are more in the pink family. But this one is called Eggplant, and this one is called Sandstone. And they go so nicely together. So nice. So I've known Lizzie Ann Yarns, the two ladies from there, for a few years now, and they dye beautiful yarn. Their color aesthetic is just like the colors I love. So I'm always really drawn to their booths at different events that I've been at, and this time was no different. They they just really have some beautiful colorways. So it was a hard decision, but I'm really loving the Jody shawl that I made, and I haven't, like I said before, I haven't always enjoyed shawls that I've made, so I would like to make another Jody shawl. But then when I saw these, because these are a sock weight, so not suitable for the Jody shawl, but because they went so nicely together, I thought I would try to find a fingering weight shawl that is similar in size to the Jody shawl, because I think it's the size and the shape of the Jody shawl that I really love. So I'm going to see what I can find to use these two, because there's a lot of yardage in two skeins, and see what I can find to make with this and make another beautiful shawl. Again, it's the same colors as my other shawl, but we know what we like, right? So I don't veer too far off the path of what I like, I guess. So now this one is different. So I met this new dyer, Akara Yarns. Her yarns were beautiful, very soft and delicate. I'm sure you're not going to be able to see this very well, but it's a gray base, and it's got little bits of pink and sort of a golden yellow and turquoise. Just gorgeous. There's some like mustard color. Just beautiful. Anyways, this is Akara Yarns. And this is a DK weight, and the color is Hey Girl. If you can see that. So she's also from Ontario, and she, yeah, like I said, her yarns were gorgeous. So this I'm going to make a Jody shawl out of. However, I couldn't find any contrasting colors from her that were going to work for what I was thinking. So she had a mustardy, this golden mustard color that looked so nice with this, but I just can't wear any sort of yellow. It makes me look like I'm not feeling well. So I didn't go that bad. So I'd really like to pull out this turquoise color that you can see here. So that's what I'm thinking. I want to do maybe 2 different shades of turquoise as the 2 bottom colors, and this will be the main color at the top. And it's a really nice base, nice and squishy. So I'm excited about that. So this is a project that I probably won't tackle till the winter time, but I really loved this yarn. So I have a start at least on my next Jody shawl, and hopefully I can find some good coordinating yarns to go with that. And from that same dyer, I bought this set of mini skeins, which I love. So I don't know how well you'll see these, but oh, the prettiest colors. And this is really the type of color I want to pull out of this. Let's see. But I just have a mini, so that's not going to get me far. So anyways, these minis all go really well together. So I'm trying to think of a pattern that I maybe have seen already that I can incorporate all of these together. And I was thinking maybe with like a natural colored yarn as a main color and maybe some mohair. Yeah, I know Molly from a homespun house, she knit a shawl last winter, I think it was, with some mohair and some minis. I should go back and see what that one was, because I think it might work with this. But anyways, I thought these were so pretty, I could not leave them behind. She had a few different bundles of minis, and they were all really nice combinations. So she just has a really nice aesthetic. And this yarn here, this one mini, it's like a soft pink with a little bit of brown and beige in it. And I thought this would actually make a beautiful sweater if you had like full skeins of it. It's very soft and pretty. So anyway, so it was nice to find a new dyer, and I spoke to her a little bit, and she's really sweet personality. So yeah, it was nice to find somebody new that I hadn't seen before. And then the last thing I purchased was just a ball of this ice yarn. Again, I've not tried this yarn either. It's a real different looking yarn, like a barber pole yarn. And this was reasonable. This was 100 grams for $10. So I thought that was a really good price. So I might just make socks with it, but I was considering doing this Shifty shawl or Shift shawl by Andrea Mowry. And I think she had used the Sin Cycle yarns, which are not in my budget. But I wondered if I could use this or something like this. So otherwise, I'll just use it as for a pair of socks. So that was a good deal, I thought. So that's all I bought. So I was trying to be good, and I think I was okay. And it was fun. It was just nice to be there and to be inspired. It would have been nice to, had more time, but I'm grateful for the time I did get. So that was good. So I think that's about it. As far as the summer goes, I am hoping to podcast. Now, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard, and the lighting probably will be terrible because I'll be in my trailer and we might be interrupted by the children or whatever. But I'm going to try because I really like doing it, and it keeps me motivated and working on projects. And I'm just really, really hoping I'm going to get lots of knitting time. I need some knitting time right now. I've been so busy the last few months, and yeah, I'm feeling a little bit burnt out. So I just need some time to sit and relax and enjoy. So yeah, so I'm going to try. So it definitely won't be very often. I am, however, going to try to keep up on my Instagram and posting photos of different aspects of camp. So if you want to come along for that, that might be kind of fun and interesting. The other thing with camp is the Wi-Fi is terrible. And that's an understatement. So again, with the podcast, I don't know how that's going to work. I might actually have to go off-site to upload it, but we will see, and I will try my best to do what I can this summer. So yeah, I still have a lot of packing to do tonight, just all the last minute sort of stuff. I've already started loading the car, and my front hall's just over here, and it's just loaded with stuff waiting to go out to the car. And then it's just, tidying up the house a bit and taking out the garbage and all the last minute like shampoo and toothpaste needs to be packed tomorrow. So so my two youngest come with me for the summer, and they are so excited and can't wait to see their friends, and it is a fantastic summer for them. They are outside all the time. They're kayaking and canoeing and swimming and playing all kinds of different sports and being with friends all the time, and they actually don't have any access to the Wi-Fi during the summer. So for me, that's great because I don't have to monitor what they're doing, and they're just having the best summer. So, and for me, even though I'm working, it's I do get downtime. I'm finding it more difficult going to camp this year than I have in the past, and I think part of that is just being gone from home for so long. I find it hard to be gone this long. So we are there for 10 full weeks, and that's a long time. It's a long time to be gone, and it's a long time to be away from all the comforts of home. And my 3 oldest children will be at home, so that's hard to be away from them for so long. And my cats, I hate leaving them too, so it's tricky. And my parents are getting older, and leaving them behind as well, because I see them at least once a week, and I'm able to just call them when I'm home and check in on them. But yeah, that's a little more tricky when I'm not home too. So yeah, this year's just been a bit different, and I know when I get there it'll be great, and I love camp and I love the people there. But yeah, I'm really a homebody at heart and an introvert, so sometimes camp can be a bit much. So anyways, it will be great, and we will survive. And generally camp goes really fast, and we're home before we know it. But yeah, I'm struggling a bit this year, and but again, like I said, once I get there, I know I'll be fine, and I've got lots of knitting to keep me busy, so that will hopefully help. And we our camp, the camp that I go to, it's made up of all different types of campsites, and so there's some that are like a seasonal site, so you can use them for longer. You can use them from May till October, but they're very difficult to get, and you have to be on a waiting list for a very long time. So I was on the waiting list for about 10 years, but now that I'm staff there, I can actually jump the list. So this year I was able to jump the list and get one of these season sites. So they're much bigger than a normal site, and in an area of the park that is much quieter. So my trailer has been moved over there, and we were able to get a deck that somebody else wasn't using anymore, and they were able to break it into 2 pieces and move it over, and they put it back together for me. So I have a nice deck, and I bought some nice patio furniture. So hopefully this is all going to help to make the summer a little more enjoyable, and it's definitely very quiet where our trailer is, so I think I'm going to really enjoy that because where it was before was not quiet, and it was kind of in the middle of all the activity, and it was hard to kind of get away for a while to just kind of refresh and regroup a bit. So I'm hoping with our new trailer site that will make it a little bit easier too. So I'm looking forward to sitting out on my patio furniture and knitting. That's what I'm most looking forward to, actually. So that might be bad, but anyways, I know once I get there and I'm working with my staff, I know I'll enjoy it. But there's been a lot of issues have come up already, and so I know I'm going into issues, so that's not exciting me either. But we'll get through it. It'll be fine. But and I don't know how much I've told you. Sorry, my daughter just came upstairs. She's distracting me. I don't know how much I told you about my job, but I basically oversee all the children's programs at the camp. So if my staff do their job, my job is easy. But my staff consists of about 26 students who range from the age of 15 to about 22. So as you can imagine, overseeing 26 teenagers comes with its challenges. And they're wonderful, and it's nice to be able to be a part of their life and to mentor them a bit and speak into their life. But there's always those few that come with lots of challenge. So, and I already have one pegged that's going to give me trouble this summer. So anyways, but the rest are wonderful. So that will be good. Anyways, I think that's it for today. So like I said, I don't know when I'll podcast next. I will try from camp, but definitely watch my Instagram, and I'll try to take you along to camp with me, and hopefully you can enjoy that. So have a great summer until I see you next, and I hope you get tons of knitting done, and I hope I'm going to get tons of knitting done, and maybe have a new sweater or two come September. So anyways, go ahead and join over on my Instagram page, follow me there, and yeah, I'll see you there, and I'll post as much as I possibly can from camp and take you with me. So have a great summer, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.